Hey everybody, what's up? Today I'm going to do a live video and we'll see how that goes. It's not really my preference, but a lot of members have mentioned they like to see it, so here it is. And we're up against the wheel 69111, haven't seen this guy before. We're playing at the $100 level on full tilt. Alright, 9-2, limping, just to find out what this guy's like. And paired board, which obviously we're going to attack. And we get a call. He checks pretty quick. I mean, I really don't think he's got the 7 here, but we're not going to bother firing the second barrel. And what's he got? Alright, King 10, that's interesting. Limping. I'm already starting to think this guy might be a station. I'm going to fire out one more bet, and I don't think I'm going to get a fold here just quietly. Which we didn't. Now I've got the draw, so I'm going to control him with a 20 bet on the turn if I can. And we've missed. Alright. So I think I might mark this guy at this stage as a station. I use green for a calling station. And because of that, I'm going to raise a little bit bigger pre-flop. I'm going to raise 4x instead of 3x. And we get a call. And I think I'm going to bet very aggressively here. I think I'm ahead, but it's a very drawy board. Oh, okay. So it certainly looks a little stationy at the moment. Gonna bet my middle pair. Quite a drawy board once again. And let's see how we go with 40 here. And I'll probably bet 40 on the river, and that's just a horrible card. Completing a lot of straights, but he could also have a 6. Obviously this is a bet fold. And now we're on the fold side of it, so he must have called with a 7. I think this guy is a real station at the moment. Which is, well, we'll just have to hit some hands and get some good value from him. Certainly doesn't look like he's folding, he hasn't folded at all yet. Except for when I bet nearly pot and had raised pre-flop. So station mode is not going to be betting too much. I'll take the occasional stab. Basically only betting for value. Ah, 10-5, missed value, missed value. It's a joke, by the way. Here I'm going to try and value bet my ace, not expecting to get a fold. Well, that's interesting. You got a fold on the turn. Surprised. And as you can see, I'm playing all of my cards against this sort of player. And I might try having a stab here for 40. And I might not try having a stab really, considering it didn't work. And I've got very few outs. Oh, the 9 could be good. And I think I'm going to value town myself if he's got a king here. Oh no, he was just calling, so I called 40 on the flop in his station ways and then had missed the river obviously and gave it up. Alright. So basically against these guys you do need to hit hands or else you're just giving your chips away a lot of the time, and I think the key is not to lose your chips when you've got nothing, which I can sometimes do a pretty good job of. Alright, middle pair. Interesting that he bets pot here. Probably top pair. I'm just going to call and try and suck out, and that spade on the turn is a bad card. Might be getting a little bit more aggressive, or he might have flopped maybe a pair draw combination, who knows. Alright, middle pair's worth a bet. Once again, slightly drawy board. Getting drawier and drawier, if that's even a word, which I'm sure it's not. Alright, so we just hit a curiosity call. And I think against this guy, I'd be better off raising, or when I hit, sort of betting full pot on the flop, because he wants to see that turn. Here I'm raising 4x with my ace king. Expect to get called. And we get a fold. I think he learnt from last time that maybe my 4x is a good hand. So next time I have to bring that back down to 3x. And quick check. We'll have a pop here for 20. And take it down. So yeah, I think he's a lot more stationy earlier in the hand. So for example on the flop. So here we'll try and take advantage of that with a pot size bet. Okay, so he's tightening up a little bit. Yeah, I'm not going to bet in the 3 here. And I'll just check this one, hope to get the showdown. Maybe that was a bit passive of me. I mean, he hadn't bet the flop, but who knows. Alright, so we struggle on, waiting to hit something and hoping to get paid off. Got a little bit of showdown value here, and main thing is not to bluff this guy. I'm going to go into my shell for a few hands where I'm not doing anything, and then once I've maybe got a little bit more credibility, I'll try and open up when the blinds are higher and steal some pots then. Alright, let's try now. Thank you Full Tilt for popping up the lobby for no good reason and ruining my video. Wonderful software these guys have got. Alright, so we just got one curiosity call. So obviously firing the second barrel is also a possibility against this guy. He's certainly stationy, but not sort of ridiculously stationy. Well, you're going to have a crack here. If he hasn't got a 7 or 9, I could pick this up. Yep. Alright, Jack 10 suited. Decent hand. He hasn't raised to a match. And I have to exit my messaging software. Apologies for that. And this is an interesting spot. There's a diamond draw, so I expect to get called. And it's missed. I'm going to fire the second barrel here. I think I'm probably ahead. And lands on the river. Thank you, sir. Yep. So that's the way with these guys. They call their draws, and as long as they hit, everything's good. When they, as long as they miss, everything's good. When they miss, it can get a bit ugly. And he's waiting and he's betting. So I think my third pair is no good there. So this is just simple value town. Try not to pay him off and try to get paid off. Now this guy hasn't raised or match. Going to take a look here, but I am expecting a big hand. And that's not obviously the best flop for me. 8, 9, 10 would have been a little better. And I think he could well have kings or aces here. I folded up. That was just speculative. I mean, Queen Jack can hit a lot of nice hands where I could possibly felt him. That's an interesting card, and I think I'm going to call with my flush draw and straight, and of course I'm going to miss. So he managed to hit his flush draw, and I managed to miss my open-ender, but still, that's the way it goes. We should get there on one of these. And I expect this is going to be a long match the way it's going. I'm going to have a stab here, and then I'm going to bet the turn again if he calls. Alright. So I'm just waiting for a spot where I can get paid off. He's slightly stationary, this guy. And we'll check this, see what comes on the turn. And I think we're going to take it down. Good chance that we're ahead. A lot of draws, of course. Alright, good. And not a nice flop, and not the sort of flop we can push someone who's a little bit stationary off pretty much ever. Even though he's not showing much interest, we'll just let it go. And King High was good. Alright, Jack 5 offsuit. And we continue the war of attrition. Big long pause and a bet from him. And not going anywhere there. Alright, middle pair, once again, slightly drawy board, 2 spades. And that's got to be a good card, surely. I'm going to make him pay if he's got a 6 or an 8 here. And that is an absolutely horrible river for me. And if he raises me, obviously I'm going to fold. And yeah, went from 2 pair to basically 1 pair. Thank you. Not such a good river. Bit frustrating when you can't, get rivered. I mean, obviously I turned him, but then again I put in quite a big bet on the turn. And maybe I should have checked the river because I knew I was beat. Alright, getting called here. Got lots of draws. 2, 6, 5 would probably be good. Wonderful. Just sometimes feel in matches that sometimes you run obviously a bit better than others. Other times, and this time it's just not quite clicking. When I hit a good hand on the turn, gets counterfeited on the river. Or he catches a river, I can't seem to catch much, so I've just got to be patient. My turn will come, no doubt. If not this match, then another match. And I don't feel this guy's a particularly strong player. It's just hard to do much unless you catch. I'm going to double barrel this one. Right, good. And 6-3 offsuit, a monster. And not the best flop. So really all I need is a hand that will actually hold up to the river. And I think that will be enough to get the decent pot off this guy. I'm not going to raise pre on Queen Jack. I'd be raising my premiums. And now we get called once again. Same hand I called last time, but a better flop. Alright, the ace. And I think I'm going to bet here. See what he's got. If he raises me, I'd be afraid of ace-ace. Flat call. Surely not king-queen, I'm hoping. And I don't have much left behind. And yeah, I suspect he had ace-king or ace-queen. I'm just going to open it up and have a look. He had ace-7. Showed up on my screen. That surprised me that he raised that weak. But that was the situation I was looking for, where I had a hand and he had half a hand. Alright, not very happy about being called here. I'm going to fire on the turn. If I get called, I'm pretty much done, and I am cooked. He's either got a king or a 7 or a flush, I suspect. So the double barrel didn't work too well there. Oh, queens. Okay. So he raises on a7, but not on queen, queen, obviously. Alright. I'd expect him to hit this flop, and he has check raised me. I'm going to put him on 2 pair or better, very possibly the straight. I'm going to fold my top pair. I think that's a marginal spot when a guy's never checkmate raised me or match raises me there. I raise here just to control him. He's getting, I feel, a little bit more aggressive. And horrible flop. I'll take a stab and see how we go. Oh, lucky to take that one down with 3 clubs and the king queen. That was a bit fortunate. So some luck for me there, as well, of course, hitting the 3 of a kind. All right, I'm going to bet here. Take it down. Okay. He's not the sort of guy that seems to be bluffing much, so there's not much point sort of trapping in that spot. Alright. So grinding him down. And if you can hear a little background noise, unfortunately if I make a live video it's got to be during the day. So there will be other sounds going on, which is a bit unfortunate. One of the reasons I normally make the hand replay videos and at night. And I think we're calling this an ace king. 6s, so we've got a flip. And we run bad. Oh, we run good. Alright. And I'd be happy to play him again. He wasn't particularly good. And we have a rematch. I'll just move that in to the right spot. Okay, for some reason this one's a fraction smaller. Alright, and I'm ready. I mean, I think I've got to replay this guy. He was not a strong player. He didn't put me under much pressure. So basically his strongest trait is that he's a bit of a calling station. Obviously he's pretty passive. He's not raising much pre-flop. And against this guy, I'm just going to be value betting basically. And hoping to run good when I have ace king versus 6-6. And also the other thing worth noting is that he is very capable of limping strong hands. He limped queen queen, for example. So this king jack, I guess, is an interesting spot, and the reason I say that, he's checking pretty quickly. Should I be betting my king high for value? And here he's checked really quickly too. I'm going to bet, and alright, I'm going to try one more here. Yep, he had he had checked pretty quickly, and I do think he was looking a bit weak there. Alright, top pair. I'm not going to bet 40 and scare him off. I'm going to bet 20 and scare him off. Man, that full tilt buggy software, which keeps popping the lobby up onto my screen. I shall smile. You can't see me, but currently I'm smiling. Now, obviously, this is a long way behind his racing range, but I just think I'm going to flop, see a flop, and if I'm lucky, I'll catch the nuts like this. And I'm just trying to price him in here. Uh-oh. That could be an ugly card. And we definitely don't want to see a king on the river. That's good. If he bets 400 here, I would think I was beat. And now I'm just going for value. I think about 260. And I might time down a little bit. And insta-call. Yeah, and I'll see what he had. And he had Queen Jack. That's a bit unlucky. Also a bit unlucky I didn't get all his chips in on the flop. I mean, top pair with a decent kicker. And we can see that his raises pre-flop are not that strong. Obviously I was lucky with Queen 9 to hit the nuts. Let's have a stab. Get called. And can we take it down on the turn? Yes, we can. So the second barrel's working out okay against this guy. Not really too worried when he calls my flop bet. And it's raining heavily outside, information which is probably of no interest to you. But that will explain what the background noise is, so I can't do much about rain. I am very conscious of trying to avoid background noises, but yeah, as I say, can't do a whole lot about the rain. Here he pauses for what is a pretty significant amount of time and then fires a bet. So we'll let him have that. Have a stab here on the paired board and pick it up. Nice. And he paused there, not sure what was going on. Didn't feel like a normal poker related pause, so I'm not really sure. And what I mean by that, it doesn't really feel like he was wondering whether to raise ace-ace or something, but maybe he was. Who knows? And Queen 8, not good enough. Even Queen 8 suited I wouldn't call. That Queen 9 I just took a flyer on. It was suited, and I just felt that it had, there was a decent chance. Right, not the greatest flop for my King Queen. I think I just peel one. And I suspect this flop is a lot closer to him than it is to me. And Queen on the river. I think we're going to try and pick up some value. Nope. And King Jack, if he raised that I'd probably call. Not too happy, but he has been raising on stuff like Ace 7 and what was the other one? Queen Jack, so it could well be ahead of his raising range. Here he checks quickly, so I'll fire it a bet. And he calls pretty quickly too. Let's see if we can let's not fire the second barrel here. I'm never pushing him off anything. Maybe we'll catch a lucky 6, which we don't. And I guess I saved myself some chips there by not firing. Wouldn't be surprised if he did have something like King 10 there. Just the way he checked and then called. Didn't raise. Also possibly he had a pair or two. Alright, don't think he's hit too heavily on this flop just from the way he checked. But alright, here we've got the Queen of Hearts for the second nut flush draw. He's making us pay a full pot size bet. And if I do hit on the river, I think that I'm only likely to get a small pot, or there'll be a big pot if he has the King of Hearts, which is a very possible card for him. So we're going to let that one go. Not getting good odds. Don't have to chase too hard. Alright, bottom pair. Once again, pretty drawy board. I think I'm just going to check this, see what happens. Do we induce a bet? No, we don't. I'm going to check down again. And I suspect he would have called me on a 10 or a jack. I'll just have a look. And he called me on a jack. So I hope that's not too annoying when I bring up the last hand. I do need to see what he's doing. I'm going to have a stab here a little bit stronger than usual, see if I can take it down without him calling me and hitting on the turn, and I did. That worked. bottom pair, going to play it passively out of position. And board's not developing very well. That's going to bring a lot of straights, which I'll never push him off. And now there's a whole bunch of cards he can have, such as a queen. So if I had to bet the turn there, if I bet the flop, I suspect he would have called because he does that. Then he's definitely calling the turn, and then he's hitting on the river. So I kind of saved myself some chips. And he checks really quickly, making me think he's got nothing here. And then once again, this flush draw comes and he bets strongly. Not sure what's going on. Not sure if he's just betting something like the King of Hearts there or something. Who knows? All I know is this is kind of one of those matches where I've just got to be patient, and my time will come. Alright, and I think we'll check the river here. If he's got the goods, good for him. Yes, nice. The old gut shot. And I'm going to fold our 10-jack. He raises 4x after he just sucks out and hits a gut shot. And it looked like a spite raise, which I don't think it was, but it's kind of ironic that he sucks out and then imitates a spite raise. I'm going to bet here. Probably should check just to control him. If he raises, I'm going to feel bad. And just going to check down now. I don't think that I can push him off, and we don't really need to control him when I think about it, because he's pretty passive, so probably checking there would have been better. Except for the fact that I picked up some value with my ace, I guess. And he's getting a little bit more aggressive here. Or maybe he's just picking up some nice hands, hard to tell. I think I'll return the favour and raise one. Ace Queen's not my favourite raising hand, but that is a pretty good flop for it. I'm going to bet strongly. If he wants to call, then he's going to have to pay for it if he's got any draws. Pretty dry board, but still I'm going to bet aggressively against a guy that's a known station. And not going to bother betting. If I hit, obviously there'll be some action. And I haven't. Once again, this 3 flush, and he attacks the board, so not sure what's going on. He's probably got some sort of pair that he didn't bet on the flop, and he's protecting it, or he's got a diamond draw there. It's the 3rd time it's happened. But I can do nothing about any of them. And we've got very little there. I'm going to raise our little ducks here just to control him, make sure he doesn't sort of raise pre-flop. And have a stab here. Not my favourite board at all. It's quite horrible. But luckily we picked that up. So if that doesn't hit his calling range, obviously his calling range is astronomically wide. I'm just going to check this and play a small pot. I mean, one of two things can happen on these boards. Number one, you take a small pot with your top pair. Number two, you lose a big pot, and I'm not into losing a big pot there, so he's not an aggressive guy. He doesn't seem to be bluffing me at all, so I'm either taking very little or losing a lot. So if it's those are the two options, and I'll certainly choose take very little by keeping the pot small. And check down here. It's got to catch a 2 or a 7, please. Nope. That card does not suit me. So I've been playing this guy for a while, and it doesn't feel like we're getting very far. Try the min raise again. Get a call. And here he pauses for quite a while like he hit. Now he's pausing again. And I suspect the reason that he's pausing, as I said, is because he hit. So now we're going to have to check this down. I think we're going to lose the pot. Yes, we are. I'm not even going to call any bet here. Yeah. So you can tell a little bit from his timing. Try betting my king here. He has been attacking some, alright, so he has been attacking some turns, so I'm not against the idea of betting my king there. Oh, the min raise. This could be a monster, who knows? Could be anything, and he's checked. I like that. Now another 3, please. Don't bet the queen. Alright, all yours. Not sure what he's doing there, but he could well have a strong hand. Who knows? Nothing I can do on this board. Yeah, I think he's getting a little bit more aggressive. He might be getting a little bit impatient. It feels that way, where he's kind of, he's been sitting there waiting for good things to happen and not much has happened. Alright, I'm going to call this. Just because of his impatience level, really. And please don't bet pot here. Alright, so he probably had a good hand and that was a loose call. But I felt he was getting a little bit more aggressive and that maybe he's getting a bit more impatient. Maybe that was incorrect. Limp 3. And alright, decent flop. Gonna try 2 barreling. Ugh. The 5's a bad card, it's going to be hard to push him off now. And the jack doesn't really help. Yuck. Not hitting any flops at the moment, unfortunately. And I have a feeling he might be just getting a little bit more aggressive and floating me a couple of times here. So definitely I would try the bet and check. If I hit. So if I hit the diamond here, I'd probably check it, and now that I haven't, I'm going to fire up and stop him from getting too aggressive. Yeah, I think he's just floating me a little bit, so every time I bet and then check, he's sort of getting brave, at least on the river. Pause from him, bad sign, do not bet. And we bink on the turn. This is going to be an interesting spot. I'm quite sure he's betting here, which he is. And yeah, that's not the best river, is it? And I think I'm just going to bet pot here. I think I will get called a lot by a 7. Nope, maybe that was a bit heavy. Maybe I should have bet half pot. Maybe I should have raised on the turn, but he could have also had a full house. It's not impossible. And not going to bet, he's just calling too much. Quick check there, so I think he might be weak. And the king was good enough. Alright, limping our 4-8. Hitting a pretty good looking flop. And the immediate bet, I think, is more of a 9 than a 5. Alright, I am going to call one more. I really don't think he's got the 5 here. Question is, can I push him off on the river? Let's see. And here we are, bluffing the calling station, which is always a bad idea. I'm pretty sure he's got a 9. The question is, can I push him off his 9? Yes, I can. Phew. Honestly, it looks really, really suspicious for him to lead out there. He's never done that before. And I think it was either a 9 or a bluff, to tell you the truth. As I said, he's never led out, and that's the first time, and really, really suspicious, in my opinion. Just going to check here, see if he wants to take a stab at the river. And no, he doesn't, so I probably missed. Well, I probably wasn't getting any value, but probably trying to trap a guy that's never bluffed yet is not the best idea. Calling my 2-3. And not going to go anywhere in this flop. Even if I hit a 5, I'm not so good. And a lot of people might be taking a stab here with their no showdown value, but I'm not. I'm just going to let it go. Nine 2. Min raise, and I think we're a little bit shallow to call there. I do call the min raises really wide, but when the stacks are a bit deeper. Alright. Horrible board. Got a little bit better. Alright, and I think we're ahead, but it's a bit thin to bet, and I don't think we're getting much. Yeah, so we're never catching anything. We're never catching, never getting any chips, that's what I'm trying to say. And, alright, so this is slightly annoying. He seems to have discovered the min raise, which is not so good when I'm not catching any chips. It'll work out well if I do catch something. Alright, and he's checking pretty quick here. Got middle, bottom pair, and we take that down. So one decent hand pre-flop could finish it. Alright, I haven't got any sort of pairs or decent aces for what feels like a very long time. And not betting this flop, not much of a future in it. 7's not a great card. And I don't think 9 high is going far unless I'm very lucky. No. So I did bluff this guy once, but I won't be doing it too often. Yeah. I guess that's where all the good cards are going, over that side of the table. Here we go, ace king. And I think we're shoving here. If he wants to call, he can call. He hasn't 3x, so I think he's weaker than his... I think the min raise is weaker. And let's see how he goes. Does he get annoyed and raise us when we limp? Yes, he does. Alright, his aggression level's picking up. So I'm going to have to increase mine a little bit, I think. I'll just raise to get into the pot. And that slows him down, that's what I wanted. Got a pair here. And we pick up the pot. So that's raising to control him. We don't want to be faced with a 3x, and we don't want to sort of be playing too few hands, so that's why I raised pre-flop there. Just to control him, stop him from attacking my limps. Should be a good flop for us, you would think. And yeah, pick it up, nice. So this is what I do against people that are getting a little bit aggressive. Sometimes I min raise to control them. And I might try limping if I ever do catch a monster. This is good enough, I think. I'll limp in if he attacks this, I'll shove. Alright, quick check. And keep on grinding him down. 2-7, the hammer. And he might have stopped his little bit of aggression, I think, by the look of it. I'm going to bet my 7 here. If he raises, I'm just going to fold. And yeah, he's sort of switching around between aggressive, tight, and being a station. And right now he seems to be in tight mode. Alright. And interesting card there. One more stab here. Right, yeah. Didn't think he was particularly strong. He's down to 690. And is he due to shove or something silly? Yes, he is. I felt that was coming. I think his frustration level might be getting a little bit high. He's been down all match, which can be really annoying. And I'm going to fold this just because I know he's being a little aggressive. And I don't fold much, as you can tell, but that's one spot where I will fold. Alright, King 10 suited, nice hand. Not a very nice flop. And we get a pause, suggesting he has something, and then he shoves all in. Very subtle, sir. Alright, ace ace, we'll try the min raise. And obviously we're not folding here. He shoved on King 7, 2 live cards. And, oops. Alright, so we win with our ace ace. And I think, honestly, a lot of that match was just being patient, frustrating him, and eventually he shoved on king 7. And I guess the other important spot was where we picked off or made a bluff. Let's have a look. I'll try and bring the hand replayer here, and that was I'll just have to move it to the side to find the pot. This one here. So I'm just going to replay this one. I think it was an interesting spot because it was so inconsistent with the way he'd been playing throughout the match. So, alright, I limp and checked. I'm just going to pause it here. 9-5-5, obviously got a diamond draw, but he does something a little bit unusual, and he bets pot. And when a guy like this, he's never bet pot throughout the match as far as I can remember. He's been really passive, so that makes me think something weird's going on. And just flooding, and 200 on the turn. My initial read was that something weird was going on. I'm not going to deviate from that. I don't think, I mean, at best he's got a 9 here, I feel. And when he checks the river, I think he's prime for a bluff. 400, nice, decent sized bluff. And he folds it up. So, not sure what's going on there, but I really don't think he was strong. Obviously, he would have called with a 5. So that was my initial read, and that's why I played it that way. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed the live video, and until the next one, I hope you run good.